Hey, welcome to the stream. I'm just testing some PPG waves on the multi-poly and also getting to grips with the matricial mode on the Oxi One for some generative sequencing. This is basically what I like to do on my spare time. I just sit here with my synthesizers and make weird music. And I love effects, reverb, delay. This is the first time I'm actually streaming, and I thought I was supposed to see this chat on OBS, but I cannot actually see that. I can see it on my cell phone. Blairy Speed Lab. Hey, thank you. I really like just messing around with synthesizers and making these sounds. I hope my voice is coming out okay. This whole streaming thing is new to me, and I haven't actually used my voice on YouTube at all. I'm a little bit nervous. But basically what I have going on here on multi-poly is I have one oscillator on digital mode, and I have a wavetable. I downloaded these PPG wavetables from the original PPG. I think I got them from Gearspace, and these have really cool kind of vintage wavetable sound. And right now I'm modulating the position with an envelope. And I have a little bit of portamento. Give it that sliding sound. Blofeld, yeah. I've never tried the Blofeld, but I know it's a wavetable sound synth, and it's supposed to be really cool. It's a small thing, right? You have to love this vintage sound. I think I'm kind of having a hard time with the stock wavetables on the multi-poly. They're a bit harsh, and I like it smoother, you know, like this. I think this sounds beautiful. I have a little bit of filter on. I have the SEM filter. Let me just go really muted, a little bit of resonance. How do you find programming on the multi? It's actually, I have the wave state on here actually, and this was my first Korg synth, and I tried to learn to program the wave state, but it's a lot of work. There's so many things you have to do, and you have to jump from menu to menu. But on the multi-poly, I think it's actually it's a lot easier. It's a very similar menu system, but you know, it's a simpler synth. It's basically it's a virtual analog and wavetable and wave shaper synthesizer, so you don't have as much going on as in the wave state. So it's a much easier synth to actually program. What I don't like is how the knobs sort of, there's the... There isn't really a good mode for when it's sort of catching up, if you know what I mean. When you have the knob set somewhere, then you change, let's say, another layer, and the knob just starts from here, and it's, what do you call this? Relative. The position. So if you have the knob, let's say I have the knob here, and I change back here, then I get, you know, a different range. So I don't like that. I always go like full counterclockwise on the filter and then back up if I have to change it. Same with resonance. There's little things that I don't like, but mostly it's actually pretty okay. I think I had the Hydrosynth, and I sold it before I got the multi-poly, and the Hydrosynth was a much better experience to actually program. But I think the multi-poly is a much better synth for me. Yeah, there are different modes. I don't think I actually like the other one at all. There's a knob mode, scale. I have it on scale, and there's jump. So if I have it on jump and I change, let's say, the resonance, it just jumps to wherever the knob is. So it's sometimes you just get like a huge resonance boost or something weird happening when it jumps. So I don't like that either, and these are the only modes, scale and jump. So I live with scale mode. The Hydrosynth had like another mode. I can't remember what it was, but it was much better. Oh hey, synth mode. My first live stream. And the first time I'm talking on YouTube. I'm actually surprised everything seems to be working okay. Trying to decide between the Hydro, multi-poly and mini-freak. I had the Hydrosynth and I have the multi-poly obviously. I've never tried the mini-freak. The mini-freak is the bigger one, yeah. It has the mutable algorithms. So those are really good. So basically, if it's anything like I have in my Eurorack system, I have plots from mutable, so it should have some algorithms from that. And if it's anything like that, it's really super easy to get a really good sound. And there's some really cool sounds in there. And I think the mini-freak got like granular modes and everything, so I'm really actually wanting to try that. I wish they had it in a sort of a desktop module thing like these. I don't want any more keyboards. I can't actually play the keys very well. I used to be a guitarist, and I switched over to synthesizers when I realized that, well, I just like tweaking things. So this is a better instrument for me. So I don't want any more keyboards, I just want modules. I want all these things that will play cool music for me. And I'm just sort of telling them what to do. The Oxi One is absolutely incredible. And I have the Mark II coming, I pre-ordered it, and I think they're supposed to be shipping soon, and I hope I'm in the first batch. I am in the first batch, but I hope I'm actually among the first to get it, because I pre-ordered immediately when it was available, basically, before they announced the pre-order. So I hope I'm actually getting it as soon as possible. Oh, synth mode, thank you. You can probably tell that I'm not a native speaker. But I think I'm doing okay. I use a KeyStep 37, yeah. I used to have a KeyStep 37. If you'd watch my channel, I used to use that. But then I actually, when I got the multi-poly, I really started to want polyphonic aftertouch and proper keys. And I was looking at the Korg key stage. They had them for super cheap just a few months ago. But then I read all the horror stories online and decided that I don't want the Korg. So I started looking around, and they had the Kontrol Mark III. And this has a Fatar key bed. It's supposed to be really good, and it has polyphonic aftertouch. And it has this cool screen. I'll show you what I have going here. I have like custom artwork for my modules. There's the multi-poly, the wave state. I have something for my Euro rack. This looks really cool. Just a silly thing, but hey, I like it. Sick, yeah. It's actually... This is the best use for the screen, I think. Just having the graphics on there. I made these actually myself in what do you call that? GIMP 3. On this sort of free Photoshop alternative. I just got the logos from Korg's website and took a photo of the modules, and then I made the graphic. You just have to make it a certain size, then you have to convert it to some kind of code, and then you just basically insert that in the text file and upload it here, and you get the graphics. And I actually think the coolest thing about this is that I can have completely separate MIDI settings for all my instruments. So I have my wave state here, it's completely separate, it has different color and everything. And then I have the Euro rack. This doesn't have any CV outputs, but what this does is it goes from MIDI channel 11 into the Oxi, and from the Oxi I have this actually Oxi converting MIDI to CV on channel 11. So I just running from here to my Euro rack with one cable, and I get all the CV and gate. It's really cool. But I actually like the KeyStep 37. They had a really cool arpeggiator. Right now I have the reverb from the Universal Audio Golden, a really good reverb pedal. But I think I'll switch to the multi-poly. I don't think the multi-poly sounds as good as the expensive reverb pedals I have here, but it's actually really good. It's much better than the reverb on the Hydrosynth, for example. But I find that none of the built-in reverbs really do the thing that I want a reverb to do. I like a huge reverb. I don't really care about realism. I had this IR loading, impulse response loading reverb pedal for a while, but then I realized that I don't want I want my synths to sound like they're in a room. I want them to sound like they're in a space, in space, not in a space, but in space. Guy that has a rack mount full of Behringer synths, desktop playing one single MIDI 64 note. Like all synths going at once. That is nuts. I actually have I have some Behringer stuff in another rack right across the room. I have a Proton. I used to have a Pro 800, which was cool, but I hated the user interface. I'm not sure why they have to make it like it's actually from the 80s. I hated using that. It was so hard to get to all the stuff like, detune and everything. Hard to find on the menu on the Pro 800. But the Proton I actually like very much. I think it's a great sounding synth. I'm thinking of doing a video on the Proton. And I have some of their vintage Moog Eurorack modules. I have a couple of fixed filter banks. They're really cool when you put noise through a filter bank. It's crazy. Makes for a really cool ambience. I think Behringer is actually, they make pretty good stuff, but I kind of feel guilty sometimes about buying Behringer. So I think I'll change back to the golden. I just like this much better. Oh yeah, and the chord modes on the key step the chord mode is really cool. And I like the strum feature. I actually wish the Oxi had a strum feature like that. It's really awesome. But the Oxi has an insane chord feature. You have so many chords on here. And in the Mark II, I think you get user chords, so you can just have like whatever chords you actually could ever want. You just program them in. And I can actually set the Oxi sequencer to chord mode and play it on the keys here. So I can just press one key and get the chord. So you can basically do diatonic, chord progressions really easily. I'll change the wave. I'll stick with the PPG waves. Let's turn the filter full open. Portamento off. Get rid of the delay. Now, okay. Up. Almost sounds like a drum. Okay, I like this one. But I want more octave randomization, I think. Too much. Yeah, that sounds good. I'll stop the Oxi. I have actually a scale mode on control and the ARP programmed here, so I can actually just just play the multi-poly. I'm actually going through the Oxi, through all the MIDI devices I have here. So this is basically the brain. That's better. The arpeggiator on the Kontrol Mark III, I think it's pretty new. It's a pretty new feature. I think it was released right around when I got the actual keyboard. And this actually has a lot of features. There are these sequences. This is like straight 16th notes. You just choose a sequence. I like this one. I want some delay on this one. Not like this. Yeah, like this. Sounds good. There's another page of settings here on the arpeggiator. We have inversions. We can get a lot of variations from a simple arpeggiator. You can basically use this as a kind of a sequencer. You can set it to retrigger after I have now it's retriggering after 8 steps. You can have like a sequence basically going. bottom left with a big screen. Which one do you mean? I mean, this one. Or the screen on the keyboard. I mean this one. Ah, okay, this one, yes. Ah, sorry, there's a huge delay on my stream. That's actually that's a keyboard. The control. This is Native Instruments Control S61 Mark III. But this is the it's the it's the MIDI keyboard. Has these settings here, templates for my synthesizers, and then there's the play assist feature, which has the arpeggiator and the scale mode. I actually really like the scale mode. There's a lot of choices here, and you can have this set so that you basically, right now I have it so that I can play out of scale. So I can play a wrong note basically. But it just shows me, probably you can see the lights here. It shows me where the notes are in the scale. And this is now, I can actually set the scale mode to basically harmonize the scale. So I can just press one key and it basically plays the first, third, fifth and seventh right now, or the first and fifth, first and third, or root and third, and the octave. You can basically automatically harmonize the scale. You get really cool sequences like this. So you basically have like a easiest to show on the minor scale. So I'm just starting from C first, or root, third and fifth. This is actually just the multi-poly right now. I can basically just, I can play both at the same time, but I think it'll sound a bit off if I try it right now. Let's see. I can basically have the Oxi playing the multi-poly, just this generative sequence, and just choose wave state on the keyboard and play that. It's a, what is that scale? It's in D. Nope. Sounds awful. Okay. I can play anything in my setup at the same time. I have the drum machine here, it's not turned on, and the Eurorack system to the left of my pedals. So basically I can play everything at the same time. The Oxi Mk1 only has 4 sequencers, so it's a little bit limited compared to the Mk2 that I have coming up. And I really like to have like a silent chord track or a chord sequencer on the Oxi and harmonize the other sequencers to that. But it eats up one whole sequencer, so I'm only left with 3 on the Mk1. So that's one huge thing with the Mk2, because it has 8 sequencers. So if I use one for a silent chord sequencer, I still have 7 left. So I can still sequence my drums. I can have several melody lines going, everything harmonized to that one chord sequence. So the sound right now is all multi-poly, except the reverb is coming from the UAFX Golden, which is probably my favorite reverb pedal, other than the mkIII X. It's like half the price of the mkIII X. So if you just want a really beautiful sounding reverb, you should probably get the Golden. I think some of the reverbs actually sound better than the mkIII X. But the mkIII X has all these other crazy features. Okay, I like this one. I like all these sort of bell-like sounds. A bit of resonance, filter. Starts to sound a bit more wooden. And change up the sequence on the Oxi. It's a trigger direction to random. Take out a few triggers. Interval to bong. Digitac to I'm not sure. I think if it can send MIDI out, then I've never actually used an Electron device. I think the manual will probably tell you if you can actually send MIDI out. And no, you don't need an Oxi One. It's actually really, I think it's a pretty expensive sequencer and you can get by with much cheaper options probably. I just really like how this thing works. It's not a necessity. It has really cool features, especially for these generative sequences. Hey, Derek Keels, welcome to the stream. Just got a multi-poly a month ago. Yeah, actually, I got this for my birthday. It's almost 2 months ago now. I pre-ordered it as soon as possible. I wasn't actually going to get a multi-poly at first, but then I watched some videos and I had to get one. I had the Hydrosynth and I just wasn't for me. I think the sound wasn't. It had a lot of features, but I don't think everything sounded as good as it should. So I chose to sell the Hydrosynth, and I pre-ordered the multi-poly as soon as the module was announced. I really like the PPG wavetables that I uploaded. And I want to try more wavetables, but I'm kind of I'm afraid I'm afraid that that's all I will do for the next few years, is just try out wavetables. There are so many available, I don't know where to start. The PPG was an easy choice because they're just, you know, download them on the internet and there are like 30 of them. And they're classic. But if you start looking for more wavetables, there are so many around. This is actually a monophonic sequence. I have just one track on the matricial mode in the Oxi, but there are 3 more tracks on here. So basically I just set, is this actually set to the same root note? Yes, so it should sound okay. I can set triggers here. So I can get more, basically a polyphonic sequence. So whenever it actually, the playhead going like this, it reaches one of these triggers, it will trigger a note. Right now it's just triggering single B. We'll make this a bass. That's too low. That's okay. So basically now I have like a kind of a bass track on track 2 here. It's playing on the multi-poly. It's the same sound. It's a polyphonic patch. I have it set to max number of notes is dynamic, so it's basically 64, I think, or whatever is the maximum. There's a lot of polyphony in the multi-poly. And that's one thing I like about it, because you have the 4 layers. So you can just have 4 proper polyphonic synthesizers in one. But the bad thing is that there's only one stereo output, so everything goes through the same output. Now if this had a stereo output for each layer, like basically 4 stereo outputs, that would be incredible. You could just use this as literally as 4 entirely separate synthesizers, but right now I think it's okay. But the problem I have is that I love to have my sequences running into a huge reverb like this. And if I have my bass line running into a huge reverb, it becomes muddy. We can add some intervals to the lower track. You can actually randomize. Now if you wanted to, you could actually basically have the Oxi One do everything for you. Just randomize everything. And you can end up with something that's passable. Sometimes you can even end up with a really nice sounding sequence. But I think going completely random is a bit... You usually don't end up with anything very good. A controlled random is really good. You'll end up with the sort of sequences that you never thought up if you just programmed everything manually. can still add more tracks here. I think I'll add something in a higher octave. Sorry, that's this one. This and intervals. Maximum 5, minimum 0. Now we basically have 3 tracks playing the same polyphonic patch on the multipoly. And house to level, bring it down a little bit. Bring the delay down. I love having a lot of delay, but when you have several voices playing, you know, with different melodies, it's too much. But if I had my way, all music would be drenched in delay and reverb. We'll add one more track, so basically we have 4 tracks playing the same patch. And make this random intervals, and here direction random. There are so many ways to add variation to your sequences. Synth mode, that's awesome to hear. Nice that you're sticking around. I thought no one would be watching this. I actually hoped no one would be watching this. But I think this stream is going okay. No technical issues. I have to say this live streaming thing is way out of my comfort zone. I'm a pretty I'm actually a pretty shy person usually, but this sort of this YouTube thing is kind of it's challenging. But I kind of want to I want to start talking in my videos, and if I try to re-record, yeah, I hope no one would watch. No, not really. I actually hope people would watch, but it's I was really nervous about this stream because I'm very self-conscious about my English, my spoken English. So I haven't really spoken in English in many years. I'm actually I'm from Finland, so we Finnish people are very critical of our own sort of language skills. We are actually, as a people, we are very good, especially at English. And we are just very critical and we hate ourselves. Thank you. Yes, I actually, the funny thing is I was actually really good at English in school. We actually start learning English in, I think, 3rd grade. So pretty young. And of course, I watched The Simpsons when I was a kid. I learned a lot of English from there and from television. And I actually studied I completed my degree fully in English. I studied in Finland, but the degree program was in English. And back then I felt very confident in my English. And it's but when the years pass and you don't use it much, and then you get a little bit rusty. I'm not as fluent as I used to be. And I actually noticed I'm getting much better during this stream already. I think this is very good for me. I think I'm getting tired of this sequence. I can just mute this one, mute these. Just have this one playing. I think I'll scratch the whole thing. Hey, CVIO, I think. Thank you. I really like the multi-poly. I think it sounds super good. It's actually a really good synth. It just does so many things. If the multi-poly had multi-samples, then I would think hard about selling the wave state. The wave state is incredible, but the multi-poly just does it all, and it sounds absolutely incredible. I think I'll scratch the whole sequence, clear everything, change to Stochastic. This is another generative sequencer on the Oxi. Change to an interesting scale, Balinese, and change root node to C. So the stochastic mode on the Oxi One, basically you have these columns here. These are the notes. They're actually labeled here. You have your C to B, and the blue ones are the notes that are in scale, and the red ones are out of scale. So if you go like this, you just set the blue ones here and press play. This is the higher the column, the greater the probability that it plays the note. So right now I have equal probability for all notes in the scale. I want to add a little bit more of the first note and a bit more here. And I think the stochastic mode in the Oxi actually, it's really easy to get really nice sounding sequences, and you can lock the sequence, so just do this in the last two columns, set them as low as you can. And now it's locked. It's just playing the same sequence forever. thank you for the compliments on my English. And actually, I thought I would start streaming actually regularly. So I like sitting with my synthesizers here and just playing around like this. This is just simple. I'm just playing sequences on here, programming on the Oxi, and tweaking sounds. And why not stream this? And if someone likes to watch this, then by all means, go ahead. This I think when I used to play the guitar, I kind of it felt like a sort of physical. You know, you have to perform, and there's always pressure when you have to sort of perform. And I always think that I'm not a good enough guitarist, and I can't nail the song I'm playing or something. It's just more stress on top of work and everything in life. So I want my music to be relaxing, and when I'm playing with my synthesizers, I'm relaxing. I find that I'm never going to be a professional musician, so I might as well just enjoy what I enjoy, which is just tweaking sounds. Now the notes are completely, but they're not random, they are probability based, but the probabilities change, the notes in the sequence change all the time. The rhythm changes slowly. When you have this column here set highest, that's the probability of the notes changing per step. We can add octaves. Yeah, the native instruments, the control. I actually read quite a lot of negative things about this this one as well. But if you go on the internet, everyone is negative about everything. But people were maybe, I don't know, more negative about the chord key stage. So I ended up getting this one. And I actually really like this keyboard. I kind of need to learn to play a little bit so I can express myself on the keys better, but I actually really like this keyboard. And I love all the features here, like the nice graphics I've made here. And the play assist features here are actually, I like this one. There are these chord sets here. So I can really easily play really nice sounding chord progressions. Right now I'm just pressing one key. There are several sets. Oh, that sounds like a does this remind me of? It's very dramatic. I think the first minor set is really good, and let's use the ARP. I need to work on my timing. No idea why it goes this high. It's a pretty complex arpeggiator. Yeah. Luckier sound. I think the envelopes on the multi-poly are actually really snappy. Can't hear anything right now. I have decay set to minimum. Bring it up slowly. Get like this. Really fast envelopes. You can actually just make your own custom curve here. The decay is by default, I think it's fully exponential. You can hear that when you turn it off. There's nothing, it's so fast. There's so much to tweak here. You can tweak your attack curve, decay curve, release curve, you have overshoot, and you have different presets for basically models of different envelopes and synthesizers. So basically you have like I think that's a Moog Model D envelope model. They sound a little bit different. I don't like that with this sound. And switch back to the Oxi. One thing I actually don't like about the Oxi is that it's not sending, I mean, it's a step sequencer, so I think it's logical that it doesn't send clock all the time. But basically, if I have the multi-poly in different tempo than the Oxi, the multi-poly is at 120 and the Oxi is at 100. So if I stop, start, a bit more delay, you can hear the pitch warbling in the delay when the tempo changes. But you can basically avoid that by setting the multi-poly tempo to the same tempo as the Oxi One, and then you get rid of the pitch warbles when you stop, and the delay is not synced. And now it works as it should, I think. getting tired of the sound. We'll bring the level down so you're not... Your speakers won't blow. Change to the wave shaper. I actually really like the wave shaper. You get like a pure sine wave from the wave shaper. You have this classic, I think it's a Buchla style wave shaper. And I want to modulate not offset, I want to modulate gain. Use the pitch envelope. Enter to cancel. Sometimes I get lost in the menus here. Or not, I get lost in the menus. I forget which buttons to press. We can just press here and source. Destination oscillator 1 gain, and source would be pitch envelope, and enter, and okay. Sustain down, decay up. I actually really like all these lucky sounds. What is your preference to how many notes you have on one sequence? Actually, when I have something like this stochastic mode, I just let these sort of generative sequencers just, this is 16 steps. I just leave it at that usually, but you can actually, in the Oxi, you can set the endpoint here. You can basically have 4-step sequence, or 5-step, or anything between 1 and 128. But if I'm actually, I think I'm going to do let's change this to mono mode. So basically now this is a basic mono sequencer. And we'll set this to, I like odd numbers, an odd number of steps, like 5 or 7. I think it's sort of we'll go with 5 right now. The Balinese scale has changed that to minor, something like. This is not the thing I like about the Oxi. It's really easy to visualize the scale here, because you have, the minor scale, you have 7 notes, and then the 8th one is the root again, an octave. But basically you just go like, oh, I want root, octave, the 3rd, let's say the 7th, and the 5th. And right now I have the, basically that's minor 7th chord. Basically, I like an odd number of steps, because I think it always makes for a more interesting sequence. So something like this. Let's make this 4 notes. Boring. Add the 5th step, and it's much more interesting. I'm gonna add some drums. Let's see. Let's mute this one. Bring the volume down. I have a Roland TR6S here for drums, and I'm using the drum pattern generator on the Oxi. But actually, I'll actually clear this, and we'll just do a 4 to the floor. So it's just more easier to show. It's easier to show how the 5-note sequence goes with like a 4/4 pattern. Add some hi-hats. Let's see. So you can see how it's sort of it's like constantly offset from the drum pattern. If I did like a, let's say 4 steps is pretty short, but we'll do 8 steps here. Add like 6 and 2 here. Go like this. Something like this is not like a, it's not a bad sequence, I think. It's just constantly repeating. It's the same thing all the time. But if I remove 1 step, we'll make it 7 steps. You get this constant sort of, do you call it a polyrhythm or a, what do you call that? So something like this I can listen to all day. Except I want to add some octave randomization. Make it a bit more interesting. So basically even number of steps, maybe a little bit boring to me, but I'm not very good at programming interesting sequences, so I use these tricks to make them more interesting. We can still do one more thing here. We could use track 3 for a, let's see, set that to off, chord, and then program a chord progression here. Scale minor, root would be C. It's going in without hearing the chords. Do a C minor 7. Basic chord progression 1 5. 1 4 5 I think. Let's go with F minor 7 and 5. It's okay. Now I can set these. I saved the chord variations to these slots here. Now we just tap this, go to the sequencer, tap here, and place the chord in the sequence. We'll do and division will be 1 bar, this one. And now we set the sequencer 1 scale to harmonize sequencer 3. Okay, now we have the chord progression on sequencer 3. It's silent, it's not playing anywhere, but it's basically controlling sequencer 1. So we get like a chord progression on the sequence. basically all I did to sequencer 1 was change the scale to harmonize sequencers 3, and I programmed a chord progression in sequencer 3. It's the same sequence as in the first example. You can see the notes here. I wonder if you can actually see them on video. I'll adjust my camera a little bit. You can see better. Yep. The columns that light up green on the Oxi, those are basically the notes that come from sequencer 3. So right now the sequencer 1 is only playing these notes. I think I'll do we'll clear this and use the drum pattern generator on everything but the bass drum. So we can set snare and hi-hat, closed hi-hat to 32 steps, and then enable the drum pattern generator. This is based on a mutable instruments module. I think it's called grids or something. This is basically like a generative drum pattern sequencer. So you have all these controls here. This is called patterns on the Oxi. You can add chaos. This basically randomizes some hits, I think. Chaos is a bit much here. The bass drum is now a bit boring. I think I'll close the clipping now. Bass drum is pretty loud. Be okay now. So it's pretty easy to actually get some interesting drum patterns from the Oxi. And I'm pretty bad at programming drums. I usually just do a 4 to the floor and a snare drum and hi-hat, like basic beats. But this one basically generates more interesting drum patterns. It doesn't work with all kinds of music, but I think it's okay for something like this. I want to change the key. I've been streaming for a long time now. Actually don't like this sequence anymore. Switch back to stochastic. Go for a more exotic scale here, Phrygian dominant. So anything that sounds exotic usually sounds cool. We'll switch to classic oscillator. This is like the virtual analog oscillator, basic waveforms. Soft wave. Saw wave with the SEM filter, a bit of envelope. Snappier. Add more oscillators, 3 oscillators, 4 oscillators, like 4 saw waves going at once. I think the 4 oscillators on the multi-poly isn't really like it's not super useful for like basic sounds, but one thing you can do is you have a lot of options for audio rate modulation on the multi-poly. So you can basically have like the oscillator 1 as just a modulator, where it's not actually producing any sound. You're just modulating the other oscillators with oscillator 1, so you still have 3 oscillators to play with. So I think that's the really one of the bigger advantages of having so many oscillators. For like a basic sound like this, I don't think it's all that useful to have so many oscillators. Probably the biggest issue I have with the multi-poly is that you can't really adjust the effects on the hardware. So that's just weird. You can adjust everything on here, but the effects. Basically, you have to play with the presets on the effects section, or you have to make your own with the editor. So that's I don't understand why you already have like so many menus in this thing. You couldn't add a few more for the effects, because I would like to adjust delays, I would like to adjust reverb, and on the hardware I don't want to use my computer for that, because I hate using the computer outside work. So I work all day on the computer. I don't want to be on the computer when I'm, in my spare time. But I think the effects in the multi-poly are really good. I like the CX3 vibrato chorus. This is like a new effect on the multi-poly, I think. sounds really good. What do you do for work? I mean, well, I'm on the computer all day. I'm in IT, not technical. I'm not a coder or anything, but I basically work in IT. And I used to work in healthcare, but doesn't pay enough. Let's say that's one of the biggest reasons I switched from healthcare to IT. Basically about the effects in these Korg synthesizers, I think they're really good quality. I've owned, well, I still have Meris and other really good FX pedals, and I've had Eventide, and I've had Fractal Audio. I used Fractal Audio for a long time when I was playing the guitar, and so I have experience with really good effects, and I think these are actually really good, but just I wish I could, you know, adjust them on the hardware like I can adjust anything else on here except the effects. More delay. Yeah, of course. I think I'll actually this is without delay. So I like these synced delays because it becomes a part of the sequence. It makes it a lot more interesting. So basically, when you have this delay going, you don't actually kind of like notice that, oh, that's a delay necessarily. But when you take it out, you can tell that it's, you know. Then you bring it back in and it kind of fills it up. And this is, I don't think you can see the screen very well in the stream, but this is like this is synced delay. This is a 1/8 and dotted 1/8 note. It creates its interesting rhythm. So basically one thing you can do to make like a basic sequence a lot more interesting is just to add delay. I think delay is like this magic thing that makes any sequence more interesting, especially when it's synced. And one thing I really like is basically like tap tempo by hand. So it's not perfect. It's not like perfectly in sync. Right now this is like MIDI synced, so it's perfect. But when you do like a tap tempo manually, you get this like it's slightly off. It kind of sounds more interesting. Now that's basically something I do on the modular Euro rack. I have two really good delay modules. I have I have the IntelliGel C-Legs that I use a lot in my videos, and I have a Strymon Magneto, and I rarely clock them. I can basically clock them from the Oxi. I can just take like a gate out and a clock signal from there and sync the delay perfectly, but I like to tap the tempo in, so it becomes more organic. And I think that's something that Aura does as well. really like how Aura was actually one of the reasons I really got into synthesizers, because I was watching, actually interested in synthesizers, and I was watching Aura's videos. I really liked this sort of a sequenced, kind of a melodic sequence with a lot of effects. Really liked the sound. And basically the Oxi One, I first saw these in Aura's videos, and I had no idea what this was, but it looked really cool. So I thought like, oh, I have to find out what that is, and then I had to get one. So I think we'll change this up a bit. I have to probably stop the stream soon. Chinese scale is actually interesting. Less notes. It's too few. A bit more. I think the last thing I'll do is I'll keep the sequence going, and I will drench this in reverb. Fewer notes and really long reverb. Let the reverb oscillate. Just try not to clip. Electron. I like Aura's videos too. Yeah, I actually really like his music. It's sort of, I don't know why I'm ashamed of admitting that. Really, he's like a YouTuber, so you're not supposed to like him, I guess. But that's silly. I actually really like his music. this golden reverberator is self-oscillating basically here, like an infinite reverb. Add more modulation. Find that this is a nice way to end a jam session. Basically just have a reverb going forever. I think now that I've actually seen that this whole streaming thing actually works pretty well, I'm thinking I can actually do like a more planned stream. I have so many sort of ideas for like comparisons and gear demos and everything, but I kind of have a hard time actually doing like a structured video. You have to plan everything, so sort of kind of plan ahead and shoot everything and edit everything and all this thing. So I think I'll try doing more streams and see how that goes. So I think if I have to edit a video where I'm talking, I will be so critical of everything I say. I will never release anything. I really like actually playing with the modular, the Eurorack system. It's the Eurorack is like it's the ultimate playground. You can just get lost in playing with sound for hours and hours, and I have so many little tricks I kind of want to do a video on that I think I'll do streams, maybe especially on the modular. Synth mode, thank you so much. Very flattering. Thank you. I could maybe do like a more structured thing on sequencing as well. Maybe like a less focused on all the fancy features in the Oxi and more like a basic sequencing. So it's not so it's not so limited to just the Oxi. The Oxi is like super cool, but it's pretty expensive, especially the Mark II. So it's prohibitive for many, and you don't need something like this to make interesting sequences. It just kind of helps. And sometimes I feel a little bit lazy when I'm actually using the Oxi because there's so many generative features that it makes it so easy to make interesting things. But I guess that's okay. I'm just here to relax. But my reverb is actually dying out, so I guess I will end the stream here. So thank you so much for being here with me and commenting and everything. I thought no one would watch this, but I'm actually surprised. Really nice. And I hope you'll watch my next streams as well. Bill Astro. Oh yeah, Bill Astro is super cool. He's actually he's one of my favorites. Actually, like it's like every Saturday morning I have like a new Bill Astro video lined up, and with morning coffee and Bill Astro, it's super cool. He makes incredible tracks. There's always like this sometimes they're very, very long, but they're never boring. It's like interesting sequences and interesting sounds, and I love this sort of the Berlin school thing that he does. How to make sequences like Bill's? Oh, I'm not sure. I have to really like try to make sequences like Bill first. But I think a lot of what he does is based on the on basically like the Berlin school. If you know Tangerine Dream, for example. So it's very similar to something like Tangerine Dream. I suggest you check out, if you haven't yet, check out Tangerine Dream's albums. They're really good. There's like one of the pioneers of electronic music, and they have exactly that type of sequence that I like. They do the sequencing. They have huge walls of or used to have huge walls of Moog modulars on stage. It's absolutely incredible. But I'm not Bill Astro. I'm not anywhere near his level, sadly. But I think I could do like a Berlin school thing someday. Yep. I think I have to stop now. My reverb died, and I'm tired. I have a full day of work tomorrow, then it's the weekend. Hey, it was really nice of all of you to show up and comment. I'm very surprised, I'm very happy, and this is very surprising to me, and thank you so much. I will see you again. Goodbye.